Mentioned earlier, we want to talk matters Turkana oil. Yesterday, two Turkana leaders asked the government to suspend the early oil pilot scheme and to first secure the region from the clutches of armed bandits. We invited both of them to our program. One is already here. The other, we hope, is on his way. I want to introduce Joyce Emanikor, who's the Turkana woman representative. Mheshimiwa, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thank you for finding time to be here with us. Sometimes leaders say that they get misquoted. So you can begin by telling us exactly what you said this weekend and what your concerns are, even as the nation celebrates the beginning of the early oil pilot scheme.
Thank you, Waiga. I think we want to be clear on our intention in terms of the oil transportation. We fully support the president.
Okay.
We fully support the government, and we are waiting for the benefits, Mark. And what we are concerned is we want to protect this oil. We want to protect the transportation, the transporters. We want to protect President Uhuru's legacy. We don't want, the oil production is a positive aspect of his legacy, and we don't want it to be tainted by insecurity. We also want to reduce investment costs so that the investors do not spend a lot of money hiring security vehicles, a lot of security personnel, escorting each of the vehicle. With it will not be cost effective.
Okay, your intentions are very noble. What are your fears? Because that statement showed your fears. Maybe just walk us through them. Yeah,
our fears. One of them was exhibited the day the president was in Turkana, because he gave a stern warning to all Kenyans, and particularly the pastoralists, holding illegal arms, attacking each other, killing each other, stealing from each other, and stealing the livestock. And he said, if you're found with these illegal arms, you will be killed. And as if that was not heard, immediately the president left.
Disregard of the president's order.
Yes, immediately the president left Turkana. A few hours after, the next morning, we had an attack in the same location where the president was, where he launched the oil.
A distance of about 20 kilometers. Or so.
We had 3 people killed, one of them a security officer, an NPR, and 2 others. We had livestock taken. This is contempt and defiance of the highest level.
Okay, and so that is the reason why you felt the need to issue that statement.
Actually, it came. That was the background of our statement.
So stopping the early oil pilot scheme, which is what you called for, how does that relate?
We are not really calling for stopping.
Okay.
We said let's address security first, to ensure that this oil goes without disruption. And I have confidence in CS Matiang'i. I'm sure he is up to the task. I'm sure he'll take seriously the orders given by the president, and we are sure that the security will be beefed up.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the day that the president launched the early oil pilot scheme, he also brought governors together. For example, I saw him with Honorable Nanok and one or two other governors, making them shake hands and say, you need to stop what's going on. What more would you advise the authorities to do in regards to the sort of issues that we see in the county? And this time round, there are new aspects, the fight over natural resources, not just about cattle, which is what we've known, but now with an area proving to be rich in various resources, what advice would you give the security forces as someone who knows the land?
I think what we need to do is the leaders to come together. We did this in 2015, and we succeeded. We had all the leaders from Baringo, Turkana, Pokot, and Samburu, 4 counties, all the members of parliament, including senators, of course. We had the governors, and we had a long meeting at the deputy president's place. We went to the president, and we said we want to stop it. We want to stop cattle rustling. We want to stop fighting. And we started a caravan. We went to all the hotspots in the 4 counties. And to date, that bore some fruits in some of the hotspot corridors, namely the corridor between West Pokot and Turkana South, and the corridor between Loima and Pokot North. We are seeing those people living together. And this is what Wanyangapuo was also saying when he was in Turkana. He said there are parts of these borders where these people live together. And I think it's because of that caravan and the leaders working together, and the communities were able to see us relate to each other, talk and eat together. We celebrate that peace.
Okay, but it's not everywhere, and
that
is the problem. In your statement, you were quoted as talking about political incitement. Coming from where? For what gain? Who are these inciters?
Without hiding, I think we have had problems with Tiati constituency.
Okay, we are hoping to get the MP, Honorable Kamket, on the phone.
Yes,
keep
we have had problems of people from East Baringo, that's Tiati, trying to move into Kapedo, which is in Turkana. And of course, there is a side of Kapedo, that's the Silale Hills, where we have the geothermal. Part of it is, I think, in East Pokot, and part of it is... So Kapedo is on the border, but most of it is in Turkana. So we see there is an expansionist move from the leaders from Baringo, and not all of them. And we have had that problem.
Okay.
And this is where we think leaders could be inciting communities.
Did you tell the president this? Have you told the authority?
We have said it time and again.
And it has fallen on deaf ears, or you have seen some small action?
We have seen the smoke. So I think that's why I said Matiang'i will take action, not only on our neighbors, but also on the Turkana leaders, if there are any that are found to be inciting. We are not segregative in this.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did the announcement of the early oil pilot scheme raise interest? Do you feel now that more people are talking about Turkana, and that could complicate what you're trying to do?
Looking at the prospects, I think Turkana, all roads are leading to Turkana.
No longer Nairobi.
Yes, looking at the investment, we will, at the peak of production, I think we are looking at 100,000 barrels per day. Of course, we'll not get to where Saudi Arabia is. We are now producing 2,000 barrels a day. We had 70,000 barrels stored to be transported to Lamu, and they are high prospects. And I'm told the recoverable reserves in Turkana could be in the tune of 750 million barrels that will be transported through the pipeline when that is commercially viable.
As the leaders, you've now forced to become oil literate, oil compliant,
yes,
to understand the value of what is under the soil.
Turkana has put Kenya into the League of Oil Producing Countries, and actually put East Africa, not just Kenya.
Okay, let's talk about what you as local leaders agreed to, 5% of the proceeds. That was a big problem, Mheshimiwa. In fact, it had caused the whole discussion to stall. How did you finally say, okay, 5% is fine, because you are now the ambassadors going to the people telling them to accept that?
There were two issues. One was capping. There was a proviso.
Okay.
That for the county allocation, 20% should not exceed the exchequer's allocation to the county for that financial year.
Okay.
And for the community, 5% should not exceed a quarter of the county's allocation. That would have been like 2.5 billion for the community, and for the county, just 10 billion, because that's what we are getting. And we want to thank the president, because we talked and he heard us. He accepted to remove the capping.
Also, the capping was removed.
The capping was removed. We are very comfortable. Even if it went to 2% without the capping, we know we are okay.
So when you took that message to the people, they accepted?
We explained. We went round. We did community awareness. We engaged the community.
Yes.
And they understood the issue of the capping being removed.
So
we are happy.
Wouldn't 10% have been more like it? 10% for the community, 20% I think for the county, and then and then the rest goes to...
You see, the negotiation was a give and take. So if the president removed the capping,
caps, it changed,
and we also removed the other 5%, which we were. So I think that was a win-win situation.
Okay.
And we're happy about it.
Is the revenue to be shared? Is it direct revenue? Is it royalties? Is it bonuses? At what point does money then come back to the community?
The county assembly, the Turkana government, county government,
yes,
is working on a legislation and coming up with a framework of how these monies, the 20% for the county and even the community share, will be used. We are thinking of having royalties, a sovereign account.
Okay.
We are thinking of actually doing investments, investing this money, not just for ourselves, but for our generations to come, because oil is a depletable resource. We want the impact of this revenue felt through generations.
Fair enough, Mheshimiwa. You know, it's one thing for us to talk about Turkana and the challenges and the opportunities here in a nice air-conditioned studio in Nairobi. It's another thing to see the situation on the ground. Now, our Ann Kiguta recently was in Turkana.
Yes.
She did a 14-minute report that aired yesterday on Monday Special. You can catch all of it on YouTube. But there's one part that I thought we should take a look at just to understand, should the oil... should oil processing work for Kenya, the sort of change that locals of Turkana are hoping for? Here's a look.
It's been a long battle for locals here who, as recently as last year, had threatened to block the early oil project until negotiations on revenue sharing, job allocation and infrastructure were finalized. In 2013, Talo had to suspend operations after locals stormed their facilities. And whereas all appears calm now, many still believe that the benefits should be felt very directly straight in their bank accounts.
Sasa mama kwa upande yake anasema tulikuwa tunataka kwa upande yake alikuwa anataka ama tupate mapato kidogo ama tukijengewa hospitali ama nini, lakini tupate mapato kidogo ama hata kashi kidogo tunapewa kama ile pesa nini tupewa hata kadi nyingine pesa iingie kwa kadi yao kama ile ATM tupate mapato kidogo ndio ambaye tupunguze njia.
Lakini Talo anaandika mtu ama hakuna watu yote na watu tu kiasi kidogo tu hivi kwa shimba kwa site naandika kwa siku 20 basi anatoka.
But back in Nairobi, experts are far less optimistic. Oil prices fluctuate and are sensitive to many geopolitical factors.
Well, anything that creates trouble in the Middle East and the Persian Gulf, where most of the oil comes in, that's one. Two, the US. The US has discovered technology which allows it to extract massive amounts of oil from what are called sands, oil sands, both the US and Canada. And what that has done in the last 10 or 15 years, 10 years actually, is the US became, apart from becoming a net importer, it became a net exporter of petroleum. So basically it has reserves. So as those become more easily exploited, that will flood the market with more oil. And as more oil or at greater supply comes in, the prices will moderate.
However, those who advocate for the pipeline paint a rosier picture. In 2016, the Kenya Civil Society Platform on Oil and Gas estimated that the production of oil could fetch up to $650 million per year to government coffers by the late 2020s, even if oil prices stay at a depressed $45 per barrel.
All right, if you want to catch that full report, it is on YouTube, on the Citizen TV YouTube page. So please look out for that and you can just get more details on that. Mheshimiwa, you can hear the expectations. Some even saying ATM cards to each resident, put money there every month. What are they telling you they want?
Of course, the expectations are very high and we have to manage them. As leaders, we also have to take lead in educating our people on investments. You could hear the lady also talking of hospitals, building of hospitals and maybe schools. So they also have an idea of the need to invest besides cash. And as I told you, there is a framework that is coming. There's a legal framework that's coming from the county assembly that will guide the whole process.
What would you say is the most pressing need, or what are the most pressing needs of Turkana County at the moment?
Besides security, there is the food security.
Okay.
Food security, water. Although we have those water reservoirs, we haven't exploited them, and we think these are some of the things that this money will come to do. If we exploit that big reservoir in Lotikipi and Lodwa, we can grow food all over Turkana and reduce that gap of those who are starving and those who have at least little to eat, so that everybody has something on the table. So food security, security itself, human security.
Human security, yes.
Yeah, and water.
And water.
Yes.
And hospitals.
Hospitals, of course, and schools.
And schools.
The human capital, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, so far, what benefit would you say the prospecting for oil has brought to the county? To have, and there's always a back and forth. Some are saying, yes, locals have gotten jobs. Others are saying very few locals have actually gotten jobs. In your assessment as an area leader, so far, what difference have you seen in the county as a result of the interest?
Of course, we still have our little fights with Talo because of jobs. But, I mean, largely, Turkanas have gotten jobs in
thousands, hundreds,
maybe in their hundreds.
In their hundreds.
They have categorized them. We have the skilled, the non-skilled, and we have local, what they call local, and locals, and nationals.
What's the difference between local, and local?
So we have had problems with that because we think Turkanas are able. We have quite a number of Turkanas who are also skilled. So we still see a few of the people coming from outside.
Other counties?
Yes.
Okay.
But we are also aware that this is a resource that belongs to the whole of Kenya.
Okay.
So we don't really want to keep it to ourselves. But that's one of the benefits. We have locals, a few locals also having had the opportunity to get tenders, contracts, and including women groups who have had opportunities to supplying foodstuffs or vegetables to the Talo camps, and I think those benefits are appreciated.
Are being felt by and large. Has there been skills transfer? Can you say that if by the time the oil dries up, you will have locals who are engineers, etc., who got those skills?
Yeah, when Talo started, they came up with a scholarship program that took a number of Turkanas, even abroad, to train on petroleum-related courses. Okay. So to some extent, yes.
Yes, there has been some form of skills transfer. Yes. I don't know if you've had a chance to look at the Daily Nation this morning. The cartoon is of Turkana oil heading out of Turkana, and an individual, I think the head is of a rat or something, a tenderpreneur, saying, we are very happy that this project has started. Are you concerned that the corruption that we have seen touch on almost sector of our government, and we've seen a lot of revelations these last couple of weeks, could also start finding its way into the Turkana oil?
The transportation of oil, we as Turkana leaders have asked the government and Talo, I mean whoever is in the sector of transporting, to get the local content. That is 30% to come to the locals in terms of transporting that oil, and we are pursuing it seriously. So hopefully we hope that the Turkanas will also benefit from this pilot scheme. Yeah.
Any concerns about corruption? We have seen that happening in Nigeria. We've seen that as a big issue. What sort of lessons do you think we can learn from some of these other countries, especially the African ones who haven't seemed to handle natural resources in a very good manner?
Well, I think for Turkana, this is new. And we want to be optimistic. We don't want to begin from a point of pessimism. So I want to believe that for now we can't talk of corruption. Well, there's that potential, yes, but we do not have cases yet.
You do not have cases yet.
Yes.
Public participation. Are you satisfied as a leader that on matters oil, the voice of the Mwananchi in Turkana has been heard?
I am not satisfied. We still need disclosure, proper disclosure from the investors and government. We do not even know how much we are talking of when we are talking of these percentages. It could be negligible, it could be big amounts. So, and there's so much also that the investors are not disclosing to the locals. So in terms of public participation, it is still below. It is still below? Yeah.
So in fact, on the same note, do you know whether the community will start to benefit during the early oil or when it's commercialized in 2021? Have you been told when coins will start trickling into the county?
The community is expecting immediate benefits.
How immediate is immediate? Like today?
But we are aware that benefits might start coming in the next 5 years. Okay. So it's still a long way, and we need to start preparing the communities to wait.
Okay.
Yeah, so that they're not impatient.
All right. And finally, what role do you hope to play, even as the county looks especially towards money coming in? What role do you want to play and hope to play as a leader in that county?
I think my role is to ensure that Turkanas participate in the whole process.
Okay.
In terms of benefits, in terms of the social investments from the investors on the community. We have schools, hospitals, in terms of jobs, in terms of women groups and youth benefiting from tenders, and even buying shares from the pipeline.
Buying shares from the pipeline.
Yeah,
okay, that's
Kenya pipeline. We should be able to buy shares. If you look at that pipeline, which is about it's going to be 820 kilometers, running all the way from Turkana, Samburu, Isiolo, Meru, then a big chunk of it, Garissa, then to Lamu.
And it's supposed to be heated to be able to carry that crude oil?
Yes. It's going to be insulated, but I think they'll also be heating it.
Yes, we had an engineer saying that, yes.
Yes. So, I mean, even from that pipeline, we hope to get many jobs, but if possible, also buy shares.
Buy shares, okay. That's an ambitious one. There are those who are saying Turkana could one day compete with Nairobi. Do you share that view?
Yes, or even go higher.
Even go
Much
higher. My goodness. So this studio interview might be happening in Turkana, not in Nairobi.
Very soon.
Very soon. Thank you so much, Mheshimiwa. That's Honorable Joyce Emanikor, Turkana woman representative. Of course, her county now is all the talk with the start of the early oil pilot scheme. Obviously, the benefits of this project are trickling in. Very little in terms of tenders and little jobs for the locals. But many hope that once the 5% uncapped starts coming into the county, and that 5% could be anything, depending on how much is made, then the county hopes for full transformation. Obviously, disclosure is one issue that she has raised. They're still hoping for a lot more disclosure and transparency on the part of the government, and that is what locals are asking them for more answers regarding. We're also expecting Honorable Christopher Nakuleo, who's the Turkana North Member of Parliament, but he has not been able to join us for this particular interview. And the interview today obviously was led by the fact that her, together with the other leader, had called for a relook at the early oil pilot scheme, bearing in mind the region is still within the clutches of armed bandits, and they are very concerned about that.